Okay, so let's look at sort of the technicals and what's been going on there. I've already covered all the fundamentals now. So here's my technical analysis. Just a reminder for those of you that are new, for the legend, on the right hand side in that column axis, there's support and resistance in black, trend lines generally. Brown numbers are breakout levels. The sort of clarity type color is horizontal levels, where I've just sort of identified where I see support or resistance, or they're based on double or triple tops or bottoms. Pivot points are on this week, so make a note of those colors there. And Fibonacci, I'm not sure I've added any this week, to be honest with you. Okay, so we're going to start with the Dow. I mean, stocks had a real roller coaster week last week, even on the day, let alone on the week. I mean, they finished stronger on the week, but they was having huge ranges on the day. And then, of course, Q1 earnings coming out is probably going to sort of create more sort of volatility again this week. So on the Dow, support and resistance, I've got resistance at 34,282 on the daily, with support at 33,540. It's going to be interesting to see if it can break on the upside. I just personally, I just get a feeling it's going to struggle. But the performance of some of the companies might say different. On the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 34,197 and support at 33,900. If you look Friday, I mean, it just rejected S1 so perfectly. It was a dream. Moving on to the S&P. So again, maybe a little bit more room on the upside as far as I'm concerned. Personally, I would love to see it get back up to that 4,300 level, because that's where I look to buy put options or sell the futures, but definitely be interested in buying put options up there. So I've got resistance at 43.02 based on that, and that goes all the way back to August last year, and also sort of April, May time before that as well, where it's sort of got to and rejected. Below that, I've got 41.88 as resistance, and then support wise, I've got 41.11 and 40.97 as well. Moving on to the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 41.75 and support at 41.38. If it breaks through on the support side going down, then, again, it could pick up some momentum. Nasdaq, which sort of really caught my attention last week. I only tend to trade the Nasdaq when I've got a very clear and strong view of levels and on stocks as well. So, a bit of technical and fundamental. Yeah, I mean, it was a good week. So if we look at resistance, I've got 13,559, which again takes us back to sort of those last year's sort of test levels. And below that, I've got 13,292 and 13,243, with support at 12,928 and 12,525, which is a breakout if it can break that on the downside. On the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 13,304 and also at 13,213. I've got support at 13,072, and then below that 12,963 and 12,929. And they all come into play last week, so it was an amazing week. Moving on to the Russell, just remember these are small cap companies. So I've got resistance at 1952, below that 1820, and support at 1757. And again, that 1952 sort of reflects back to sort of April, May last year. It did pop through and get, sort of above 2000 a couple of times, but it really struggles when it gets up there. And on the 30-minute, I got resistance at 18.19, so pretty much the same as the daily, and I got support at 17.80. Moving on to the currencies. God, I say that way too much. Right. Oh my God, here I go again. So resistance at 126.36 and resistance at 125.66 with support at 124.10. Then on the 30-minute, resistance 125.66, 125.64 and 124.63 with support at 124.29 and 123.76. Again, when we look at the pivot levels on Friday, cable rejected R1 really nicely. Moving on to the euro, I've got resistance at 111.14 and support at 108.74. I've really avoided trading the euro for quite some time against the dollar, but I did have a little short on Friday. Moving on to the 30-minute, I've got the same resistance level at 111.14. I've got support at 110.12, 109.57, and a breakout if it should get down there at 109.21. Bitcoin seems just to have become that sort of digital gold, and if it does sort of manage to push higher, then there's a gap that breaks out from 34.40 should it be able to get there. Before that, got resistance at 31.167 with support at 27.685. It really does seem that crypto winter from last year is well and truly over. It's been a good move up. In fact, out of all the asset classes, it's up over 80%. And if we look at the 30-minute, then I've got resistance at 30,836, and I've got support at 30,150 and 30,021. If we look at Bitcoin versus the Nasdaq, as I keep in each week now, you can see there is that element of sort of relationship between them. The correlation comes and goes. Is it one that I would trade? Probably not, but opportunities, of course. But just remember, they're both volatile. Almost to a degree. They've swapped positions though, where Bitcoin used to be the volatile contract. Nasdaq has always been sort of wild and fast paced, but it's probably become more of the erratic of the two. Moving on to gold itself, again had big moves last week. So 2064 resistance on the daily. I got support at 1982, 1953. Then on the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 2050, 2029, support at 2006 and 1996. As I say, timing is everything in these markets. It always has been, but even more so at the moment, especially when it comes to sort of the indices and gold. You've got to let the market come to your levels. Don't go chasing the market. And of course, make sure you get those lines so accurate. My wife calls me Sherlock Holmes sometimes because I will actually, even though I've zoomed in, I will still get a magnifying glass on to make sure that those points are touching as precisely as possible. Because that one or two ticks can be the difference of, getting a profit or having to get stopped out. Okay, so moving on to WTI Daily. So here I've got resistance at 84.07, support at 79.61. On the 30-minute, I've got resistance at 83.44 and 82.81, with support at 81.94 and 81.29. So that sort of pretty much ends the analysis. TI's tried to break out last week. It wants to, of course. If you get a weaker dollar, then there's a much more of a chance that it will. It got past that sort of 82 ceiling that it had before. If you look at it, oil was sort of stuck between 72 and 82 dollars. It dropped down to sort of 64, 65. Then it popped back up, obviously, over the news of OPEC plus cutting by over 1 million barrels a day. It didn't really sort of gain that much. It jumped $5, but that was pretty much it. Then sort of towards the end of last week, it sort of got a little bit more momentum behind it, where it went in through the 82s into the 83s. But it just sort of failed to hold on to that. But, it's still in the 82s. So there's, for me at the moment, the range has now become sort of even 78, 79 on the downside, 83-ish, 83.5 on the upside, but it's not going to stay there. So anyway, that's the end of everything. I'm just going to move on as usual and just highlight our services. So obviously we provide this on a weekly basis for you to help you prepare for the week ahead. And of course, on top of that, if you want it, then there's our daily newsletter, which gives you the global news across all the different asset classes. But more importantly for you guys, it gives you fresh chart levels and pivot points on a daily basis. Then it also depends on, sort of where you are in your trading. Then we've got one-day workshops where I can just sort of fill in any gaps that you might have, whether it's a career for you or whether it's just a second income. Then we can sort of help you to sort of accelerate those trading skills. Our 1 week course will take you from a novice all the way through to feeling very sort of competent in making trading decisions. Of course, it's only the real start. We're just providing those foundations for which you're going to build that trading career on, which does take a considerable time. And of course, if you've got that inner trader, I will find it. If you want to seriously consider turning trading into a full-time career, then our comprehensive accredited masterclass is designed to do exactly that. We provide you with all the knowledge and trading tools that you're going to need to navigate any market, and of course in any asset class, which is more important. You always have to find the asset class and product that's best for you. We also do trader mentoring, which can help you improve and get to that next level. We consult companies on hedging FX, commodity exposure. Obviously, we've been very busy with that over the last couple of years with the situations. And of course, we provide educational content, and that's to individuals, that's to exchanges and brokers. Any aspect of trading, we cover it all. And if you haven't got, or you don't feel as though you've got sufficient funds to do your trading, especially in these volatile markets, then again, just reach out to us. We've got a partner that provides funded trading accounts. Of course, you have to qualify by passing their challenge first. So that's it. All that leaves me to say is, if you've got any questions for us, contact us at info@symaxfintech.com, or you can aim them directly at me, chris.tubby@symax-int.com. I've got a series of one-day workshops this week. Monday from noon British Summer Time, I'm actually providing a free 2-hour session all about trading. An introduction to it, just to sort of help you decide whether trading could be for you or not. So love to see you there. Contact me for the details if you are interested. Have a great week, and of course, more than anything, be lucky.